This 26 Sports high school basketball presentation is presented by Cadillac Casting Incorporated.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to Cadillac High School, the My News 26 Sports Big North Girls Game of the Week. We're just joining you as the national anthem starts. We'll listen in. Rendition of the national anthem there. I almost want to say that might be the Cadillac Choir.
It absolutely is.
Oh, look at that. Well, Mr. Know-It-All here is Kevin Gregory. I'm Jay Simon. Thrilled to bring this one to you here as the Cadillac Vikings are playing host to the Alpena Wildcats. Big North girls basketball action. And Kevin, this is a rematch of two teams that squared off in Alpena, 45-35. The Wildcats came out on top, and as we talked to head coach Mary Kay Johns at the outset in the opening segment, she's expecting her team to come out and shoot better, maybe have a little better legs, not sitting in a bus for 3.5 hours.
That is a long hike. That's a long bus ride. Big North Conference, you're traveling to and fro quite a bit. So, yeah, you know, they're hoping to put up some points. Cadillac, in their losses this year, that's when they lose. They're struggling to put up between, 25, 35 points. When they score in the 40s, they're having much more success. So I'm sure that's going to be part of their game plan tonight.
Talking to head coach Johns, she mentioned to us that the expectation is the Wildcats will play a zone. You would expect that since the Vikings shot 24% in that first game. How do they overcome that? What do you do if your team is struggling shooting? What do you do to get better looks against a zone?
Transition, just like you talked about before the game. Get there before the other team sets up their defense. You want to hit those transition buckets, get some easy open looks. So a lot of times open looks are going to go down more than the contested ones. So if you can get into your offense before they're able to set up their zone, have a little more success.
Well, we'll look for that from the Vikings. Meanwhile, the Wildcats sit just a half game technically behind Traverse City Central in the Big North. They come into this contest 5-1 in conference play, 7-4 overall. The Vikings 3-2 and 4-6 overall. But the Wildcats, Kevin, just 5 wins last year. So head coach, I think co-coaches, Steve McCourt and Kelly Miko, obviously doing some good things with the Wildcats this year to have surpassed that win total from a year ago already.
Yeah, if you're 5-1 in conference and you're half game behind first place, huge road game for Alpena tonight. They definitely want to keep pace.
Starting lineups for you for the Wildcats. They'll roll out Morgan Allen, a senior. Alexis Smith, also a senior. Caitlin Dezuris, 6'2", senior, will prowl the middle of that zone, no doubt. Emma Jor, a sophomore. And then Jessica Marweed, a junior for the Wildcats. Meanwhile, for the Vikings, all juniors but one senior on the team. Nicole Kleinsorge, that lone senior, she gets the start, along with Kylie Christensen, Alexis Little, Michaela Johns, and Hope Emmington.
Some impeccable pronunciations there, Mr. Simon.
I asked. That's right. Last thing you want to do is say somebody's name wrong. Mark View of the Cadillac News would tell you that is a journalistic failure to spell or say somebody's name wrong. So some discussion going on with the officials as we're about ready to tip.
View's a Sparty fan. Does he know how to spell? It's a cheap joke. Oh, that was an easy one. I don't mean it. It's a Sparty world.
On behalf of My News 26.
Go white, go fight.
On behalf of My News 26, I apologize to Spartan fans everywhere.
I did the chant. Go green, go white, go fight.
Dezuris and Christensen will tip it off for us. Looks like we're about ready to go. Christensen won the tip, but the Wildcats come up with it. Immediately attacking the rim is Morgan Allen. And a scrum, we're not going to get a jump ball. It comes out. Little lefty jumper there from Marweed is off the mark. And here comes Hope Emmington and the Vikings. And there's that 2-3 zone, Kevin.
As expected, yep.
Johns with the jumper from the elbow there off the mark. And now we're going to get a foul. Vikings looking for the jump ball situation, and instead we are going to get a foul.
They call a foul on Kleinsorge there, and I was going to point that out. The last game I did against Gaylord, she was a beast on the board. That girl will box out. She got like 7 or 8 defensive rebounds, just beautiful boxing out right there, trying to attack the offensive boards. And they're going to need a lot of that tonight, get some second chance opportunities if Alpena is able to set up that zone.
And there's a Wildcat turnover. Vikings forced 25 turnovers in the first matchup in Alpena. They just couldn't convert because they only shot 24% from the floor. And there's the first one for the Wildcats right off the bat. There's a near steal tapped away by the Wildcats. But Little comes up with it. Looking inside for Johns. Nice little turnaround. And now we'll get a jump ball situation. Johns and Dezuris. So this should be Cadillac ball, and it is.
One thing I've seen Alexis Little do well this year is against zones. She's able to find seams and attack and get some easy layups off of it, so they're going to need that today as well.
Christensen will try a 3, and, well, Kevin, I don't know what they're going to do because you're not out there to go up and tip that out of the rim.
Well, there's no trampoline, and it's not a 9-foot Nerf rim, so I wouldn't be much help.
They're looking around as if to try.
Anybody?
There's not another ball. Okay, here comes another ball. I'm not sure there's even anybody in the house that can go up and do that.
I see some skinny little ski bunnies, maybe. I don't know.
I'm not sure that even the skinny little ski bunny can do that. The thing that disappoints me about that is that should have gone into the hoop. That if you're going to do that, you have to do it in such a way as to put it through the hoop. So the Wildcats will trigger under their own basket. Alexis Smith, the senior.
Nice.
And quickly up ahead, nobody back. And layup too strong, and I think that's going to go off Dezuris, and it does. Jessica Marweed got behind the Viking defense. Could not convert. Still scoreless, 7:04 to go here in the first quarter.
A little full-court diamond action for Alpena.
Yeah, they go from a zone to a full-court press, and they get the turnover. Smith swings it around for Allen. Looking inside for Dezuris, who lost the handle, going to the floor. And here comes Hope Emmington. Inside for Christensen, little right-handed hook, and it won't go, but Kylie Christensen will go to the line for a couple of freebies.
Well, they got out in transition that time. They were starting a ball reversal, but Little found Christensen before the defense was able to get set. Now set the line shooting 2. One thing Cadillac's going to want to be careful with, and you notice it right off the bat, right on that first entry pass, got away with it there. You don't want to do the entry pass to the post from the top of the key. There's too many hands there, so they're going to want to do it ball reversals and enter it from the wings.
Christensen drains the first. Interesting free throw ritual she's got there. Too strong on the back, but the rebound on the inside by Kleinsorge and then taken away by Marweed. 1-0 Vikings, 6.5 to go here in the first. Emma Jor, the sophomore, picks up her dribble on the wing. Gets it to Allen, looking inside. It was a nice look, but bounces off of Vikings. Wildcats come up with it, though. Dezuris will try a 15-footer. Rebounded by Little. Little through traffic, gives it up to Emmington. Over to Kleinsorge, and I think she put 2 hands on that ball. She did.
Yep. You like Coach Mary Kay Johns on the sideline, imploring her team, go, go, go. She wants them to push the ball tonight.
Jor, the sophomore, over half court. Nice look over on the right side. Too strong on the layup is Smith. Weak side rebound was grabbed by Allen, but now we're going to get a jump ball. And it'll go to the Vikings. I must have missed a jump ball in there somewhere. 5:50 on the clock here in the opening quarter as Emmington trying to split the D. Gets a lucky bounce up ahead for Christensen. Gets inside Dezuris and misses the layup. Kleinsword with the rebound. Little will drive right. And Kleinsword is on the floor as we get a foul. She looked like she was going for the ankle, Kevin, but now she seems to be walking all right. That's a good sign when you've only got 3 healthy players on the bench. Last thing you need is any kind of injury, but Little is going to go to the line. They got Marweed on the foul.
Yeah, Kleinsword is a great complement to what Christensen does on the boards. Those two together, you know, that with the Cadillac defense, that's what keeps them in a lot of ball games when they're maybe not shooting as well as they'd like to.
Little drains the second, and so Shelby Seaver, who had checked in for the Wildcats, her little foray into the paint won't matter. And now here's a steal by Christensen. Dribbled it off the foot of a Wildcat, though. Jor quickly up the other way, and the lay-in. Wow, that's a fast, solid ball player there, the sophomore Jor. Little now gets it picked from behind, and I think we're getting another jump ball. This should be Wildcat basketball. Got a little contact here on the in the backcourt.
A little contact in the backcourt, a little contact there on the tie-up. Guess we're letting him play.
Going to have a physical one tonight. Looking long again, and again they get the Vikings sleeping. And the hoop and the harm.
Yeah, coach is going to remind Michaela Johns right now that if you're going to front your person, which is okay on that inbound, you can't fall for the jab step. One hard jab step towards the baseline, and then 23 for Alpena, Jessica Marweed. That's the second time now she's got that full court pass.
Coach Johns will have a mother-daughter conversation with Michaela on that. As Marweed with the lefty free throw is good, and it's a 5-3 Wildcat lead. 5:15 to go here in the opening quarter. Big North girls basketball here on My News 26 Sports. Emmington breaking the press alone. Gets over half court. Over to Liz Piles, who's checked in. Piles high off the glass, no good. And the rebound ripped away by Seaver. Another sophomore, 3 sophomores on the roster for the Wildcats. And if I'm not mistaken, Madison Murphy, the third one, will see time in this game as well, assuming she's healthy. Smith, skip pass. Jumper is too strong from Allen. Rebounded by Christensen. Alexis Little gets it knocked away, gets it back in the corner, and then gets it knocked away again. And I believe it will stay Cadillac ball. It will. 4.5 to go here in the opening quarter. Vikings, Kevin, yet to find the mark from the field. They've got 3 of 4 free throws they're only scoring in this game. Nice look inside for Christensen, who powers through the block but can't finish. Marweed comes up with it. Now we got a scrum. And we'll get another jump ball.
One thing Cadillac's going to want to do on that press break, Alpena's out in that full court diamond. They inbound the ball to Hope Emmington, then they kind of leave her hanging out to dry. Whoever doesn't get it, which other guard, if it's Alexis Little or right now number 5 Morgan Knaus in the game, they have to get to the free throw line so they can get the ball, have 2 options. 1 in the middle of that press break or 2 on a reversal so they can get something going down court.
That was a beautiful look from Emmington to Christensen cutting down the lane, but Christensen unable to finish. Finding the going a little rough on the inside, but she's getting a lot of good looks. It's a nice little give and go to Jor. Kicks it out. Marweed, the jumper, no good. Emmington with the rebound. Knaus up ahead to Little. Blocked from behind. Marweed hustling back with the defense.
Solid.
3:40 to go here in the first quarter. 3 ball from Jor, no good. And we're going to get another tie-up. Emmington goes to the floor along with Rachel Barkley, senior, who's checked into the game for the Wildcats. Marweed gets a well-deserved rest. And Jasmine Schultz checks into the game for the Wildcats. Good defense there by Johns, holding her ground. Emmington the other way against Jor. Uses the body to protect herself and lays it up and in. What a nice move by the junior Hope Emmington.
Beautiful move. Tony Parker-esque.
Oh, I was going to say Kevin-esque.
Wow.
And now we're going to get the turnover because Alexis Smith, Kevin, failed to establish both feet in the front court before catching that ball.
Yes, sir.
Every now and then
Did you
come
read
up
the
with
rule book?
something. I
That was
did.
great,
Just
man.
before I came inside, I had a copy in the car. 3:10 on the clock here in the opening quarter, knotted at 5.
Yeah.
And there's that entry pass you talked about. They got bailed out with the foul, but again, they're trying to feed Johns on the block from the top of the key. You want to see them dribble that, even if there's nobody there, Emmington to dribble that to the wing and entry from there.
Yeah, you don't. You're 3 feet on our side, on your side of half court. You don't want to throw the ball from there. It's too much distance.
15-footer from Piles. And we get another foul. It's going to go against Knaus.
So both teams out the gate, full court pressure, whole quarter so far. I like that. I like forcing the pressure, getting some up-tempo stuff.
Jor's got a nice handle. Quickly up the right side, lays it up and in.
Yes, she does. That was beautiful.
Emma Jor, the sophomore's got 4, and the Wildcats are up by 2. 2:45 to go, and there's a steal by Jor. Nope, sorry. That's Rachel Barkley. And then Barkley loses the handle, so it'll come back to the Vikings. But the Wildcats' pressure right now, troubling the Vikings.
Yep, let's see what they do here. You're going against a full court diamond. You obviously want to inbound the ball to Hope and let her make the decision to throw it to the middle free throw line or get a reversal. That's a bad, unfortunate, that's a bad pass. That's bad.
Christensen, I think, got just enough of a blow to grab a swig of water and towel off her face, and she's back on the floor. Coach Johns has a short bench, but she has used them effectively. And there's a steal. Barkley steps in the way. Layup, though, too strong, and Little comes up with the rebound. Little double teamed, finds Emmington. She's got numbers, 4 on 3 if she hurries. Trying to get it to Christensen, and she was fronted by Smith, who knocks it away. Vikings will trigger on the near side here. 2.5 to go here in the first. Johns will try the baseline, and that's going to go off the Wildcats. Look at Mark View handling the rock. Well, so far the pace of the game, because both teams are pressing full court, despite the fact that Alpena likes to drop back into his zone eventually, has been pretty quick, as Johns with a nice little jumper. What she did nicely there, Kevin, I thought she kept that above her head the whole time, as a big girl never brought it down. And Emmington with the steal.
Don't want to let them pesky little guards get their hands on it, right?
You said it, not me. Johns to Christensen, the hoop and the hard.
That's a beautiful inbound pass. A little high-low action. Michaela Johns, Kylie Christensen.
What I really liked about that, Kevin, Michaela used her left hand to feed Christensen to the left side, knowing that that's how she wanted that entry pass. It's only about, 2 feet?
Right.
Makes a difference.
Right. And that 3 or 4 feet difference between the top of the key outside the three-point line or at that elbow or a step in where she delivered that pass from, that makes a big difference as well.
Christensen misses the free throw, and it'll be Wildcat basketball. It's a 5-point Viking lead, 9-4, 2:01 to go here in the opening quarter.
Oh, there you go, Michaela. Didn't bite on the jab step that time. She listened to mom.
Haley Britton, the senior, gets cornered, and we're going to get a jump ball as Michaela Johns reaches in and gets a grip on that ball, and the Vikings will get the turnover.
Coming up on an unofficial MHSAA record for jump balls in a quarter.
I'm just going to call it official. Inside to Kleinsorge, lefty too strong. Johns, though, lets the Vikings reset. Little tries the paint. Off the glass is good. I heard her. I heard her, Slaybank. That's right.
That was a good offensive set. Got a ball reversal, attack the rim. That's what you want to do against a 2-3 zone. Great job.
Allen breaks the Viking press, gets it to the sophomore Jor. She's been impressive tonight. Emma Jor. And I think they got the score wrong on the scoreboard right now. I looked up and I said that. I've got 11-7 So I think they've got the score wrong inside. I'm going to assume that our boss director has it right on the monitor. We don't have a monitor to look at right now, but the score is 11-7. And they just corrected it as Little taps it away. So when I mentioned earlier that the Vikings had a 5-point lead, that was incorrect. Scoreboard operator fooled me. But it is a 4-point Viking lead right now. It was a nice little up and under. Actually, I thought Jasmine Schultz, once she got Christensen to go by her, was going to have a look at the bucket. Tried to find her in the middle. There's a jumper from the paint. No good. Johns pulls the rebound down, and she's going to draw the foul.
Well, they've got some really good ball handlers on their team, Alpena does. Morgan Allen, Emma Jor. You can see why they're full court press and trying to up the pace a little bit because they have guards that can handle that.
We've got a little schmutz, I believe is the technical term, on the court. So the teams will hustle over to their bench for a moment while they look for a towel, I'm assuming, or something to clean that up.
Well, that's the start you want if you're Cadillac. I mean, you're coming out, you're facing some full court pressure, knowing the team's going to go sit in the zone and dare you to shoot. So how do you avoid that? Well, they're beating them down the floor, not allowing them to set up that 2-3, and when they have set up in 2-3, they're attacking the rim. That's what you do. You attack those gaps. If that's at the top free throw line, you attack it there. If it's from the wing, you attack it between the elbow and the box. That's where you attack those gaps to try and get some easy layups. If you're not a three-point shooting team, if you're not Golden State, and we all aren't Golden State, we all can't shoot threes, then that's what you want to do. They're doing a great job of it.
Was that hard for you to say?
It was. I just want to shoot threes. Every time I touch the ball, I want to shoot a three. What's an entry pass? Just shoot it. That's terrible advice.
We must have a little bit of blood on the floor because we've got a Cadillac Viking trainer out with gloves and some spray, cleaning some stuff up. So we must have had somebody got nicked at some point.
Some big North physicality up in here tonight.
That's right. That's right. It's not basketball until blood is drawn, I believe is how that goes. So we've talked before with regard to these Vikings, Kevin, and you've done the girls' games. We've both done a girls' game prior to this. With only 8 players, and there is nobody else. It's not 8 healthy players. It is an 8-man roster. With only 8 players, one of the things you worry about is wearing down late in the game. But truth of the matter is, ask Coach Johns, she'll tell you their struggles have actually been early, and they've played better late in the game. The endurance doesn't seem to be a factor. It's been the start, and tonight they've gotten off to a good one.
Yeah, I mean, that's been my experience with them this year. In the game we did against Gaylord, I did with Mr. Dooley, they outscored them 28-14 in the second half, doubled them up, came back. They were down, I think, 5 or 6 at halftime and poured it on in the second half. So it's kind of going against the grain, but it's working for them.
All right, we've got things cleaned up, and we are ready to rock and roll, as the kids would say back in the 50s. Johns will trigger. Christensen finds Little. She's got a 2-on-1 with Kleinsorge. Finds her across the lane, and Kleinsorge will draw the foul.
Kleinsorge's on the offensive board again. I think 3 or 4 for her tonight. Mentioned that before the game, and she's, following through with that. She just does a great job, just has a knack for finding the ball.
In and out on the first.
Some players just have that knack to know where the ball is going to come off the rim, a la Ben Wallace.
Drains the second. Vikings go up 12-7, 35 seconds to go here. Quickly, Allen looking for Marweed, who has been down there every time running the floor.
Got away
too strong.
Got away with it that time. Coach Mary Kay Johns has a sheepish smile for, well, let's just say one of the players that got beat again deep.
Christensen all the way. They're going to call her for a travel.
Well, that was the call.
The only thing I can think of is he thought that the little sort of jump stop, she didn't really stop, but that little jump stop 2-foot thing people have been getting away with for years now. But
come on, ref, all the kids are doing it nowadays.
That's right. Everybody does. I saw it in the NBA. It's got to be legal. Wildcats on the other end. Nice defense by Kleinsorge to cut off the baseline. Shelby Seaver finding the rough going. There's a nice skip pass from Marweed, who lays it up. Doesn't lay it up. Nice little jumper from the paint. The lefty cuts it to 3, and that will end the first quarter of play. 8 minutes into this one, Cadillac Vikings lead the Alpena Wildcats 12-9 on My News 26 Sports. Second quarter coming up in a moment.